You ever look at a football league and think, yup, this one's got structure, clear rules, and a straightforward path to the title? Well, screw all that. Welcome to the Argentinian league, where logic is literally non-existent and chaos is in full control. The first half of the season, a team lifting a trophy. The second half of the same season, they're fighting relegation. I'm not lying when I say this is literally the weirdest league I have ever seen. You think you understand the format? Surprise, new rules pop out of nowhere. Some clubs go through more presidents in a year than they do signings. The Argentinian league used to have a simple setup, 20 teams format, just straightforward. Then, out of nowhere, 10 teams were promoted at once. This was all this guy's idea, Julio Grondona. And even though he passed away in 2014, the AFA, or the Argentine Football Association Board, kept his plan alive, no matter how awkward and clumsy the league's format became. So, about 10 years ago, in 2014, 10 teams got promoted. Grondona claimed that the reason behind these promotions was to create a year-long tournament and attract more TV deals, but everyone knew it was just corruption, just another way for him to grab more control, just to keep club directors in debt to him and keep himself in power. For years, the AFA promised a return to 20 years normal format, but every year relegations get cancelled or some other shady decision that keep the chaos going. So to maintain his grip, he did what every AFA president does, hand out favors, promotions for his friends, relegation exemptions for his allies, and punishments for his enemies. The problem, more teams mean a bloated league that doesn't fit into the calendar. The cycle is always the same for every AFA president. Reward your friends, screw over your enemies, and create some ridiculous, impossible to follow tournament to make the schedule kind of work, so every year they just pull a new format and go with it. Basically, new year, new format. Now let's get back to this guy, Claudio Tapia. The current president of the AFA, or the Argentinian Football Association. The most Argentina thing ever, electing a president who looks like he sells fentanyl as a side hustle, ties with hooligan groups, and favoritism towards the bigger clubs. Before all of this, he became the president of Barca Central Football Club in 2001. After he took over as a AFA president, the club's ride through the ranks was suspiciously fast, thanks in large part to questionable refereeing decisions, a flood of penalties, and red cards that always seemed to work in their favor. On top of that, they were offering salaries that even some of Argentina's biggest clubs couldn't match. This whole situation highlights just how deep the corruption can run in this league. It's not just them. Other clubs also have been accused of getting shady advantages too, mainly the big ones. And let's not forget his genius level mastermind approach to the league's format, switching it up every damn season just to keep everyone guessing. New rules drop faster than Gucci Mane mixtapes in his prime. One minute you think you got the league figured out, next thing you know there's a playoff for a playoff. Relegations based on vibes, making the league even more rigged and chaotic. Fans and clubs completely lost. Now let me break down the whole league format to you. Let's take the Premier League for example. 20 teams, 38 matches each, and the team that finishes at the top of the table wins the trophy. Simple, right? Now let's see the Argentinian league. Before we get into it, I need you to turn on focus mode because this shit's so hard, harder than the Beatles album cover. Before we start, mind you that just in last year, there were 28 teams, but now they've added 2 more, bringing the total to 30 teams. This means they had to change the rules and cancel relegation for last year. Okay, now let's get into it. Throughout the year, 2 separate tournaments take place, the Copa de la Liga and the Liga Profesional. The Copa de la Liga happens in the first half of the year, and the Liga Profesional is in the second half. They're never played at the same time. The Copa de la Liga is split into 2 stages. First, there's a group stage where teams are divided into 2 groups, Group A and Group B, facing every team in their group once plus 2 interzonal games where they have to play a team from the other group. One is where each team faces its rival, and the second one is determined by a draw. After that, the top 8 teams from each group advance to the knockout round, a round of 16 to decide the champion. In the second half of the year, the whole tournament is repeated all over again. Once it's all said and done, the winners of both tournaments face off for an extra title that looks like a a peanut. Meanwhile, there's a yearly standings table that adds up all the points a team earns across both tournaments. This table determines who qualifies for international competitions like Libertadores and Sudamericana and who gets relegated. For this year, since they've expanded the league to 30 teams and they've scrapped the relegation for 2024, the 2025 relegation will be based on two factors. The first team will go down based on the total points of the first and the second half of the year combined, while the second team will be relegated based on the lowest points per game average over the last 3 seasons. It's crazy how teams can shift so drastically between halves of the same season. For example, Argentina's juniors went from second place in the first half to 23rd in the second half of the same season, which is just absolutely insane. All of this is just the result of years of poor decisions by the AFA and its leadership.